Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? On this Saturday in April. Well, I've been out doing some research. I get a chance out there. The weather's been awfully unstable. So we're getting a lot of combination different types of weather up here right now. So it's really kind of screwing up my research. And usually when the weather's like this, these hominin hybrids, they're not really going to be wandering around. They'll stay in within their territory wherever they're at, and wherever they dwell at, they'll be there. And I guess we're supposed to get some more thunderstorms, some rain. We've had some snow. But that's the Sierra Mountains for you. Like I've always said, she's a mysterious lady. One of the most mysterious places in North America, if not on the planet. Definitely the most mysterious of old Cascades on the planet, in my opinion. Okay, anyway, what I wanted to tell you, that so far my research now up here by Mount Lassen, there was one video, one of the previous ones I showed you, where there was a trail that I told you that was being used as a point of travel. And of course it was the trail that you could see that whatever was going down in there is awfully big and heavy. Now what I didn't tell you was that particular trail, it's became pretty obvious to me as I was studying it and observing it that it's been traveled for a hell of a long time, really long time. And so far, like I said, all the evidence I've collected so far up here, the evidence is pointing to me that, like I said, the majority of them around here, these hybrid hominin hybrids up here, they're rogues, and most likely rogue males. And like I explained it before, a rogue male has no territory. They just go where they damn well please want to go. So, and up here, where there's been several types of eyewitness accounts of sightings. Now, and I've explained this before, when you have a rogue, what happens is he has no territory. He just goes where he wants to go. Period. He just goes where he damn well pleases. And so what I'm saying is basically if one had a sighting, for say, of one of these male rogues in a Pacific area, now you can go back to that area all you want, you can hang around there all you want, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to return to that area again, period. So, because that's what a rogue male does. He's all over the place. So, never going through really the same place all the time. Okay? If you happen to cross paths and have one of these sightings, thank your stars, man, because that's rare as hell, to be quite honest. And especially with the rogues, they just assume just evade you. They don't want nothing to do with us. Or about anything else for that matter. Anyway, I have not found any kind of evidence at all on any groups. Like I found quite a few of them I've documented on the eastern part of the Sierra Mountains. And I have not found that yet. No evidence of a group yet. Doesn't necessarily mean they're not here. I just have not found no evidence of that. But if I'm going to find any groups, I know two Pacific places right now that most likely I'm going to find them. Mount Lassen, Mount Shasta. Now, I know there's been several types of research groups that have researched on Mount Lassen and also researched on Mount Shasta. They don't get too far in the researches. I'll just put it that way. What is basically happening is these guys they're chasing a ghost. Okay. I learned years ago early in my research. I used to do the same thing. And then one day it occurred to me, I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to change my methods of my research around. So what I did was, why chase them? I'll meet them so far, and then I'm not going nowhere. I stay stable. I stay where I'm at, and then what I do is I make them come to me. They will come to you if you know where they're at. They will come to you. What draws them to you is the curiosity why you're not chasing them any longer. See what I'm saying? Don't chase them. It's chasing a ghost. You're never going to get what you want or what you're after. So anyway, that's how I kind of handle it, you know. So that's where I'm at right now. But I'm going to, for the first time, I'm going to really dig in deep in Mount Lassen and Mount Shasta. I'm going to focus on those two volcanoes this whole year. I will find and seek what I'm looking for, believe me. I always do, because I know exactly what I'm doing. And but I'm not going to tell anybody my plans on how I'm going to do my research on it. I keep that to myself. I will just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to use my own methods because they absolutely work, 100% guaranteed. Now, something else I wanted to bring up. Now, you know, when I was doing the research on eastern part of the Sierras and other parts of the Sierras, but mainly on the eastern part, where we have a lot of people up there that just disappear and vanish. No explanation, no evidence if they were abducted or kidnapped in such a way. And of course, none of these people have any kind of, how would I say, any kind of monies that you would, you know, kidnap someone, hold them for ransom and such. That's not even the case here. These people are plain just vanishing and disappearing. Just before I came up here 4 years ago in the eastern part of the Sierras, approximately 10 to 12 miles outside of a place called Forest Hill, California, which is all extreme wilderness. And there was an Asian fella just before I came up here 4 years ago, and he took a hike up in there. I know that area where he went. The guy disappeared, just plain vanished. To this day, 4 years later, has never been seen again. Period. And the same thing's been going up here. It doesn't matter, man or woman. The age factor doesn't matter. These people seem like they leave their home and they vanish and disappear. Or they're driving their vehicle, get out of their vehicle, take a walk, they vanish and disappear. Never found. Still not found. Now a lot of people, don't know this, but this is a fact, that in the last 4 years in the Sierra Mountains, over 2,000 to 3,000 people have vanished and disappeared. How the hell could you explain that? That many people. That's a fact, people. That many. 3,000, probably a little more at this point in time. And it continues. No explanation. Nobody seems to... I don't think anybody really gives a damn, because nobody really gets into it and investigates what the hell's going on. Strange happenings up here. Now, got that all out of the way. There's something I want to tell you that I've known for years, and it's never been told before. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. And you see, like this video you're looking at right now in this particular area, and that's why I'm playing this one area. Because it didn't happen too far from where I'm at right here. We'll start off with that. And you're going to wonder why, what happened. I'm going to tell you a story that's never, ever been told to the public whatsoever. About, I believe it was around 8 years ago. And at that time, Garland and I are conducting our research on the eastern part of the Sierra Mountains, this area. Something extraordinary happened. And why this story was never told, I don't have a clue. It goes like this. Not too far from here, there's an area that a lot of hikers like to go to. It's hard to find the area. You gotta find the map to the area. And what it basically is, it's one of the old trails that goes back to the old gold rush days, back in the 1800s, late 1840s, early 1850s, and so forth. I've been on that same trail, me and G. And it's a long trail. It's very rugged, and it's not for, how would I say, a novice hiker or an average type hiker, or even a beginner. This is for hikers that been at it for a while. So, now, the story I'm going to tell you was told to me by an old miner that I know up there, and his name was Don. And in fact, he was kind of helping us out on our research. He was turning us on to areas where there were solution caves and prehistoric caves that could have led to caverns. Because I'm still looking for that subterranean world, which I will get into with you guys somewhere down the road. And so I know how vigorous that trail is. You get to one part of it, and it's a lot of gravel, a very thin trail, a lot of gravel. The other thing you got to watch for, because on the right side of that trail, it's just all loose soil. If it gives away, you're going to drop down. It's just that plain and simple. You've got to be really careful. And so this fella decided to go hiking on that trail on his own. He went by himself. He claimed to be an advocate hiker. And I'm going to tell you myself, don't ever, ever, ever go up in these mountains and do that by yourself. That's lunacy. That's stupidity. Don't do it. While we get into the story, you'll see why don't do it. Now, so he goes down and he hikes. And he's going on trail. He's in a couple miles at this point. And then, as he was walking around that one trail, I was telling you, that's just a lot of loose gravel. As he was hiking and he was walking along that trail, a portion of it gave it away, and down he went. He fell down about 6 to 8 feet. Boom. And he hit a, what you would call like a shelf down below. Broke his fall. But at the same time, it broke his leg. He broke his leg. So this fella's down here, about 8 feet drop that he dropped down to. He's got a broken leg, okay? And the guy is just screaming in pain. I mean, he's in really deep agony. You know, as you will. I mean, you ever had broken bone? You know what I'm talking about. Very painful. I know, I've broken my left arm before. It hurts like hell. So he's just a wailing and a screaming in pain. And then he starts yelling for help. And he keeps yelling out, help, help, help. The problem was, because I know that area, hardly anybody ever goes there. Period. I mean, period. And that's why I say it was very stupid for him to take off on a hike, and especially on that trail, alone. So there he lies down there with a broken leg. Now, time's gone by, and obviously there's no one there to help him. It's getting close to the evening time. And he starts wailing in pain again. And then finally a thought comes across to him, and he says to himself, I think I better knock this shit off because I don't want to draw the attention to any predators. And in that area, I know the major predators. You don't have to worry about black bear. They don't eat humans. But you better worry about the coyotes or maybe the wolves. They're in packs. They'll consume you, man, right on that trail. No joke. That's what I'm saying. Don't do it alone. Well, so he didn't want to bring the attention to any of the predators, so what he did, very methodically, slowly, he started crawling on his stomach, working his way back to the trail. Took him quite a few hours just to get halfway up. Oh, hell, you know, that's about 4 feet. He had another 4 feet to go. He had to take a rest because the pain was getting to him again. He almost passed out from the pain. Kind of snapped out of it. He gave the last energy he had just before the sun set. He made it to the trail. He's laying on the trail with a busted leg. He passes out. Next thing you know, he momentarily regains consciousness for a few seconds. As he regained his consciousness, he can't get his vision totally in focus, but he feels this motion where he's kind of like going like this, up and down. And he kind of looked, and he seen that he was cradled in somebody's arms. He remembered that, and he passed out. Some more time went by, and he reached consciousness again momentarily. Now this time when he reached it, he started collecting his faculties a little bit more better than the first time that he reached consciousness. He could see his vision was a little bit more in clarity. And this is what he said he experienced. He got that motion of going up and down, as you would as if someone's carrying you, walking and carrying you. Then he felt this heavy, heavy breathing that literally went right through his body. I cannot mistake that for anything that what I know would do that. And on top of that, just before he lost consciousness again, he said he was definitely being cradled in something's arms that was very large. Very large. And he noticed he could see the forearms and the hands. The forearms were massive and muscular and all covered in hair, even the hands except for the palm. The hands were extremely large. And he passed out again. The next thing, he woke up and he got complete consciousness back at this point. And he noticed that he is laying on somebody's porch to a cabin. The next thing you know, the front door opens up and this old miner steps out. He looks down at the hiker and he says, "What the hell happened to you?" He says, "You got injured, didn't you?" He says, "Where are you hurt?" The hiker says, I think I broke my leg. The old miner, he checked him out and he said, "Yeah, it's broke all right." He says, where did this happen at?" He told the old miner where it happened at, and he says, "That's 5 miles from here. How the hell did you get here?" The guy said, "Something or somebody was carrying me. Other than that, I don't know how I got here." And he says, "You mean to tell me that somebody carried you for 5 miles? Is that what you're trying to tell me?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "That's impossible." He goes, "You know how rare a human even comes around here?" He said, "That's the only one that could have brought you here was a human being." He says, "Where are they?" He says, "You know, whatever brought me here, I do remember he was very large and very big. And he explained to the old miner of what he witnessed in detail. The massive forearms, all covered in hair, the large hands, and whatever was carrying him, it was cradling him like this in his arms. The old miner says, well, I won't take this any further. What we need to do is get you to the hospital. And they had to fly him out. But he got his leg fixed and all that. He never reported the incident, and I think the reason is because he wasn't quite that sure of what was really going on, so he didn't want to follow it through. But I'll bet you today he does. Now, just through the detail that was told to be, and the evidence points, it's pretty obvious. Do you know what happened? That was a hominin hybrid that saved his life. Saved the hiker's life. Do you believe that shit? It was a Sasquatch. And most likely a big male. You see, I've told you hundreds of times, guys, these hominin hybrids, or you know as Bigfoot or Sasquatch, they're part us. They are part human. That is the link with us and them, is why most likely that Sasquatch saved that hiker's life. Because he did. He literally saved his life. Now, everybody always hears all the horrific stories or the horror stories of these hominin hybrids, and as you could tell, and I've said it before, it's not necessarily true how they are. So there is a side of them that they have compassion. You know, compassion, that's an element that comes from a human being. Or at least we're supposed to have some kind of compassion. Not empathy, not sympathy. I hate them frickin' words. Those are the worst words in the English vocabulary. That causes more damage than any good, period. Man, I hate those words. Compassion. That's the word. And that's exactly what this hybrid showed, was pure compassion. So, today that hiker can thank that Sasquatch because it saved his life. Otherwise, he would have ended up in the stomach of some coyotes or maybe some wolves. Maybe a mountain lion. Nonetheless, he wouldn't have been here today. Anyway, I hope you like this story, but it's true. Absolutely true. So, I'm going to let you guys go right now. I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do for the rest of this weekend. I'll be back out in the woods this coming week, so this weather's going to straighten up and I'm back to work. Okay, guys? You guys have a good weekend. You take care. Have a good one. Bye.